I think one of the key differences now is that I look at people so differently, because I just see the majority of people living in a world of lack, a world of suffering that's unnecessary. But we've all been conned into believing that that is how we live, we accepted it. We accepted it to be true because the people that taught us that are people that we valued, people that nurtured us as babies, people that have been here before, therefore they must have the knowledge and they must be right. And now I see people so differently. I see people in such a way that I'm just like, gosh, you do know that there's a different way, but there's such a small percentage of people that will actually take me up on that. There is, we're here living in a world that is absolutely incredible, that it was never creator's intention to make us humans live like this, living in a place of lack, that we don't have enough, that we can't have enough, that we have to either have this or that. And even just the way that people speak to you, you start to realise how much people are just in this matrix, for want of a better word. I know everybody talks about matrix, but they are living in this program, living in existence just to go on holiday once or twice a year, living in existence that means that you're going to get to the end of your working life and think, right, well, that's me, I can enjoy myself life. And most people can't actually enjoy themselves at that point because they're so conditioned to getting up and going out to a job to make money to pay for a house that you're never in. And then they get to that age and then it's like, okay, so now what? And a lot of people, my mum suffered from this terribly. When she retired, she didn't have a clue what to do with herself. She didn't have a clue how to be without work. And we've bought into this paradigm that is normal. That is how is that the greatest achievement that man has, is to go and get a job and work for 45 years of your life doing something that you're not even enjoying, in order to have a holiday and have a break from the norm and live your best life for maybe 3 or 4 weeks of the year. It doesn't seem, and it is not the way, and I see this in so many people, that they just live for the weekend, they just live for the holidays, they just live for that freedom that they get at some point in their life before we actually pass away and return to heaven. And we've all bought into this, and we don't question it as children, we just accept it as it is. Going through a spiritual awakening has taught me so many things, and it's time to reflect and it's time to share how I actually see the world now, because it's so different. And this was brought to me like, I was thinking this last night. There was only about up to a month or so ago, I was absolutely bouncing off the walls thinking how life gets to be so different, how the paradigm and the conditioning is something that I get to choose now, and I choose to be away from it. And I remember reaching out to my coach and saying, why has nobody told us this? Why have we lived like this all our lives? I was bouncing for days. And even since then, you can feel the ego starting to pull you back in, and starting to, to get you, to pull you back into that matrix, to pull you back into that reality. And this is where you have to spend time every single day pulling yourself away from the matrix, pulling yourself away from that way of living. And often, like, you're surrounded by everybody who is living like that. You're surrounded by it. So it's, but you have to take the control back and make the choice that that's not who I am anymore. I'm somebody completely different now. I am I'm not this human being. I am not Susan. I'm just living in this body with this mind on a temporary basis until my time is to go back and up to be a star again. I'm living in, this is a game, this is a simulation, this is all being created by me, through me, as me. And once you start to see the world so differently, you can't go back. You have to remind yourself every day, oh yeah, I remember I had this huge, and I'm sure this will pass, but I had this huge bloody, aha moment where I've lived my life in a place of lack, in a place of suffering, and I've been following the crowd, and all through my life it hasn't felt right. I knew there was something else. I just knew, because nothing fulfilled me, nothing. Jobs, partners. It's not to say I wasn't happy, but I wasn't fulfilled, and there's a massive difference. And it's like every morning I get up and I'm just like, oh, and I'll go, no, you broke free from that. That's your human experience in that. It's not who you are. I promise you, it is when you realise how you have bought into a load of shite, and we continue to buy into a load of shite by, listening to the news, listening to the scaremongering that goes on from governments, etc. You'll just, life then starts. That's a good way to put it. Life will start.